In my culture, when a bride is about to get married, there's one thing that's the most important aspect of the preparation for the wedding. Of course, I'm talking about henna night. Zainab, what a wonderful speech for your number 5 speech. The purpose of the number 5 speech is to use stance, body movement, facial gestures, eye contact to illustrate and enhance the message that you're getting across. I thought you did a fantastic job of using your gestures to illustrate the story that you were telling. You had excellent organization, you had 3 points, and you showed those, in fact, using gestures 1, 2, 3, a good way to do that. Your other gestures were just so many. I liked when you're putting salt in the fingers and you're having the bride clench her fist until she gets a coin and putting the henna and carrying the henna dish around like this. These all made it so vivid and so visual. I mean, I could see the women around and see what was happening through the gestures, through the story that you were telling. My suggestions for how you might have enhanced this even more have to do with your connection with the audience. You were most effective when you moved away from the lectern and maybe came over here with the dish. I would have liked to have seen a lot more eye contact with each of us, because you're telling a story, and I think you know what this story is. So this thing just gets in the way. Move it out. Be with us. If you know the story, try to just tell it as a story like this, and not be reading it from behind here, because behind here it was hard to see some of those wonderful gestures, and there was less of a connection. So I really wanted to see that connection, because you have such a warm personality, and you are so connected to the audience when you connect with us. So I want more of that. I loved your use of humor, like with the coin and not opening the coin, and there are many other. The other thing about your gestures and body that I would just point out is that you tended to rock a little bit, and I think that was a little unconscious. It's always a little better to have a more solid stance and not be moving back and forth. So that just took away a little bit from your otherwise wonderful gestures that brought us into your story. So I always love learning more about your culture. The Turkish culture is so rich and just so full of wonderful things. I know at many of the bachelorette parties here, they usually work out a little bit differently. I've never been to one, but I've heard. I have heard. So I didn't hear any of the things that I've heard about at some of the bachelorette parties in yours. And
You're digging a hole, Arnie.
So I will simply summarize by your gestures that were wonderful, moving away from the lectern as a main suggestion, and having a grabbing opening. So thank you so much. I enjoyed that.